Okay, welcome back. I'm very much behind in my hockey recap, so I have going to be uploading three different videos for Thursday, Friday, and Saturday's action of the NHL. So on Thursday night, there were 13 games on schedule. Therefore, 26 teams were hungry to get 2 points. So let's take a look at a very quick recap from that schedule. So I know in the past I normally went by period and who assisted on the goals, but I'm just so far behind and I have very little time right now to do a video. So I'm just going to quickly go through the who scored. So Casey Middlestad would kick things off for the Buffalo Sabres, making it 1-0, getting his 11th goal of the year. Ooh, my screen went dark. Why did my screen go dark? Here we go. Jeff Skinner would increase the lead to 2-0, getting his 16th goal of the season, making it 2-0 for the Sabres. Yoel Armia would finally get the Montreal Canadiens on the board, getting his 5th goal of the season, making it 2-1. And then after that, it was all Buffalo Sabres. So Quinn would get his 4th goal of the season for the Sabres, making it 3-1. Tage Thompson will get his 11th goal of the season, to make it 4-1. Rasmus Dahlin would get his 11th goal of the season, making it 5-1. And Tage Thompson would then get his 2nd goal of the game and the 12th of the season, making it 6-1 for the final score. So with that being said, Buffaloes are now sitting at 16, 19, and 4. And with a loss, the Habs are 16, 17, and 5. All right. Next matchup takes place in Boston, where we have the Bruins, and they played host to the Pittsburgh Penguins. Okay, so they should have the team's logos on the screen as we speak. So like I said, this is going to be a very quick recap. I'm not doing what I normally do, so just to speed things up a little bit. This would be a high-scoring affair. So in the first, Brad Marchand would kick things off. His 14th goal of the season. O'Connor would then tie it up for the Pittsburgh Penguins, getting his 5th goal of the year. Graves would get his 2nd goal of the year, making it 2-1 in favor of the Pittsburgh Penguins. Pasternak would then tie it up, getting his 23rd goal of the season. Gensel would then give the Penguins a 3-2 lead. And then Lars Eller would then give the Penguins a 4-2 lead, getting his 7th goal of the season. I should have also mentioned that Gensel, that would be his 18th of the season. So it's 4-2 at that point. Jeff Carter would then increase the lead to 5-2. Morgan Geekie would finally cut the deficit to 5-3, getting his 7th goal of the season. Jake DeBrusk would cut the deficit to 5-4, getting his 7th goal of the season. Brad Marchand would tie the game up, getting his 15th goal of the year. And Sidney Crosby would then get the game-winning goal, getting his 22nd of the season. So 6-5 would be the final score. With that, the Penguins are now 19, 14, and 4. And despite the loss, the Bruins are still on top of that Atlantic Division at 23, 8, and 6. All right, the next matchup takes place in New York, where we have the Rangers, and they played host to the Chicago Blackhawks. So an original 6 matchup. Almost. Perfect. Okay. So you should see the team's logos on the screen. So Panarin would kick things off for the Rangers in the first, getting his 24th of the season. Kreider would increase the lead to 2-0, getting his 20th goal of the year. Blackwell would finally get the Blackhawks on the board, cutting the deficit to 2-1. The captain, Jacob Trouba, would get his 3rd goal of the season, increasing the lead to 3-1. And then VC would get his 8th goal of the season, making it 4-1 at that point in favor of the Rangers. And that's where we would stand at the final buzzer. So 4-1 is the final score from New York. With that, the Rangers have improved to 26, 10, and 1. And with the loss, the Blackhawks are still last in that Central Division, 11, 25, and 2. All right. Now we're off to Philadelphia, where we have the Flyers playing host to the Columbus Blue Jackets. I'll get those teams' logos on the screen right away. Perfect. Not too far apart. So, Konechny would kick things off for the Flyers in the first, making it 1-0, getting his 19th goal of the season. He would then double up his on the score sheet, getting his 2nd of the night, his 20th of the year, making it 2-0. Severson would finally get the Blue Jackets on the board, getting his 5th goal of the season, making it 2-1 at that point. Bean would then tie the game up for the Blue Jackets, getting his 3rd goal of the year. Gaudreau would then give the Jackets a 3-2 lead, and that would be in the shootout. I should have sorry, Gaudreau would get the game-winning goal in the shootout. So they came back, it was a comeback win. Holy cow! I just got off work. I'm so tired. I can't even think right now. So with the victory, I can get on the right day. The Blue Jackets, I believe they're still last in that Metropolitan Division at 13, 18, and 9. And with the loss or the shootout loss, the Flyers are 19, 13, and 6. They're still in the top 3 or top 4 of that Metropolitan Division. All right. Next matchup takes place in Dallas. So over to the Central. So we had the Stars, and they would play host to the Colorado Avalanche. This would be a high-scoring affair, so if Evgeny Dadonov would kick things off for the Stars, getting his 9th goal of the season. McKinnon would tie the game up, getting his 21st of the year. Tyler Seguin would then give the Stars a 2-1 lead, getting his 12th goal of the season. Pavelski would increase the lead to 3-1, getting his 15th of the year. Jonathan Drouin would then cut the deficit to 3-2, getting his 7th goal of the season. Tyler Seguin would then get his 2nd goal of the game, his 13th of the year, making it 4-2 in favor of the Stars. Jonathan Drouin would then get his 2nd goal of the game as well, 8th of the season, cutting the deficit to 4-3. Rantanen would tie the game up, getting his 20th of the season. And then in the extra frame, Nathan McKinnon would get the game-winning goal for the Avalanche. So they'd come storming back and steal a victory from the Stars. So with that, the Avalanche are 25, 11, and 3. And despite the loss, the Stars are still in the top 3 of that division at 22, 10, and 5. All right. Now we're off to Minnesota, where we had the Wild, and they were playing host to the Tampa Bay Lightning. Okay, so you should see the team's logos on the screen. So Radish would kick things off, getting his 1st goal of the season for the Lightning, making it 1-0. He would then double up his goal score sheet, 2nd of the game, making it 2-0 in favor of Tampa Bay. What is going on here? Victor Hedman would then increase the lead to 3-0, getting his 6th goal of the season. Zach Bogosian would finally get the Minnesota Wild on the board, getting his 1st goal of the season. And then Brandon Hagel would increase the lead to 4-1 in favor of the Lightning. And with that score, that would be the final would be 4-1. I'm just going to check and see how many goals Hagel has on the season so far. So for Brandon Hagel, that would be his 11th goal of the year. So with the victory, Tampa Bay are now 18, 17, and 5. And with the loss, the Minnesota Wild have dropped to 16, 17, and 4. All right, now we're off to Nashville, and they played host to the Calgary Flames. Okay. So Zary would kick things off for the Calgary Flames, getting his 8th goal of the season. Coleman would get his 15th goal of the year, making it 2-0 in favor of the Calgary Flames. Philip Forsberg would get the Nashville Predators on the board, getting his 19th goal of the year. Nazem Kadri would then increase the lead to 3-1 for the Flames, getting his 11th goal of the season. Sissons would cut the deficit to 3-2, getting his 12th goal of the year. Anderson would then double up the lead to 4-2 for the Flames, getting his 6th goal of the season. Hannafin would then increase the lead to 5-3, getting his 6th goal of the year. McCarron would cut the deficit to 5-3, getting his 6th goal of the season. And then Sharon Govich would double up the lead to 6-3 for the Flames, getting his 12th goal of the season. And that's where we would stand at the end of this match. So with that, the Flames are 17, 16, and 4. And with the loss, the Preds are still 4 games above 500, 21, 17, and 1. All right, now we're off to St. Louis, where we had the Blues, and they played host to the Vancouver Canucks. So this would be a low-scoring affair. So Garland would kick things off for the Canucks, making it 1-0, getting his 4th goal of the season. Parayko would tie the game up, getting his 7th goal of the year. And then Rob Thomas would get the game-winning goal, his 16th of the season. 2-1 would be the final score from Missouri. So with that, the Blues have improved to 19, 17, and 1. And despite the loss, the Canucks are still top of that Pacific Division, 25, 10, and 3. All right, now we're off to Arizona, where we have the Coyotes, and they played host to the New York Islanders. Okay. So Bo Horvat would kick things off for the Islanders, getting his 15th goal of the season. Morgan Riley would then get his third goal of the year, increasing the lead to 2-0 for the Islanders. Schmaltz would finally get the Coyotes on the board, recording his 11th goal of the season. And then after that, it was all Islanders. Anders Lee would increase the lead to 3-1, getting his 11th goal of the season. Gauthier would increase the lead to 4-1, getting his 5th goal of the year. And then Bo Horvat would get his 2nd goal of the night, his 16th of the season, making it 5-1. So with that, the Islanders have improved to 18-10-10. And despite the loss, the Arizona Coyotes are still 3 games above 500, 19-16-2. All right, now we're going to Seattle, where the Kraken played host to the Ottawa Senators. Okay, so you should have the team's logos up on the screen. Gordy would kick things off for the Kraken and getting his 6th goal of the season. Thomas Tatar would get his 4th goal of the year, increasing the lead to 2-0. Burkowski would finally get his 1st goal of the season for the Seattle Kraken, making it 3-0 at that point. Kelly would finally get the Senators on the board, getting his 3rd goal of the season, cutting the deficit to 3-1. And then Vince Dunn would increase the lead to 4-1, getting his 7th goal of the season. And that's where we would stand at the end of regulation. So with the victory, Seattle has improved to 16-14-9. And with the loss, the Sens are now 6 games below 500, 14-20. All right, now we're off to Vegas, where we have the Golden Knights, and they played host to the Florida Panthers. Obviously, it's like a rematch from last year's Stanley Cup final. So Dorofeev would kick things off for the Vegas Golden Knights, getting his 4th goal of the season. Sam Bennett would tie the game up, getting his 7th goal of the year. Matthew Tkachuk would give the Panthers their first lead of the game, making it 2-1, getting his 7th goal of the season. Connor Verhaeghe would increase the lead to 3-1, getting his 20th goal of the season. And then Reinhart would increase the lead to 4-1 at that point, getting his 25th goal of the season. So with that, the Panthers have improved to 24-12-2. They are currently 2nd in that Atlantic Division. And despite the loss, the Vegas Golden Knights are 2nd in their respective division, 23-11-5. All right, 2 more games to cover from Thursday night. The Los Angeles Kings played host to the Detroit Red Wings. So the team's logos should be on the screen as we speak. So Kempe would kick things off for the Kings, getting his 13th goal of the season. Roy would increase the lead to 2-0 in favor of Los Angeles. That would be his 1st goal of the season. Fabry would finally get the Red Wings on the board, getting his 10th goal of the year. Jeff Petrie would tie the game up, getting his 2nd goal of the season. Fabry would then get his 2nd goal of the game, his 11th of the season, giving the Red Wings a 3-2 lead. Kempe would then get his 2nd goal of the game, tying it up at 3, 14th of the season. And then in a shootout, Lucas Raymond would get the game-winning goal for the Red Wings. So 4-3 would be the final from Los Angeles. With that, the Red Wings are 19-16-4. They're still in the bottom 4 of that Atlantic Division, but they're closer to Tampa than most people think. And despite the loss, the Kings are still sitting somewhat comfortable in that Pacific Division, 29-6. All right, the last game from Thursday took place in San Jose, where we had the Sharks, and they played host to the Winnipeg Jets. So we should have the team's logos on the screen right away. So Barbanov would kick things off for the Sharks, getting his 3rd goal of the season. Barron would tie the game up for the Jets, getting his 8th goal of the year. And then Velarde would get the game-winning goal, making it 2-1, his 8th of the season. And that's where we would stand at the end of the game. Winnipeg are sitting at 24-9-4. They're actually top of their Central Division. And the Sharks are 9-27-3. They're at the bottom of that Pacific Division. All right, that takes care of all of Thursday's action. As always, if you are new to this channel and you like this type of content, please feel free to hit the sub button. I'd be very grateful and very appreciative as well. And until next time, take care.